Behold, the humble Rubbermaid cart, workhorse of the industry, lightweight yet strong, ergonomic yet practical, affordable yet high quality. But this man-made wonder has one fatal flaw.
You can't even put 4 milk crates on one of the shelves!
Hello, welcome to the Funky Wrench channel. My name is Louie and I need a cart for work. I thought about buying a Rubbermaid cart, but as you saw, I take issue with a Rubbermaid. So I decided to build a custom cart instead. Now, I work in the film and television industry and specifically in the grip and electric department. All of our gear gets stored on carts so we can take it on and off the truck easily, and much of our rigging hardware gets stored in milk crates. And there are carts specifically for milk crates, but I want to build a cart that's going to be more general purpose. So it made more sense to go with a 2-shelf model. And I'll admit, I do like the size of a Rubbermaid. It's frustratingly slightly smaller than the footprint of 4 milk crates. So I decided that my cart should be able to hold 4 milk crates per shelf. And while I was at it, I also want this cart to break down entirely so that I can easily store it on a shelf in the garage or transport it in the back seat of my truck. Let's dig in. Went to the metal store today, got that. Went to the wheel store today, got those. And went to the cat store and got that. And now it's time to start cutting. So I just want to stop real quick and show these fiber discs. They're just like, they've got little rubberized ceramic discs or whatever, but I had been using flap discs to clean off mill scale, and these fiber discs work so much better. So I don't know, I'm probably not the first person to figure that out, but just throwing that out there for you. These fiber discs are great. Let's weld. So here's our 2 frames tacked together. Now I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about alignment. Getting the corners of each shelf to line up with each other was a process. I did not film it because I was extremely frustrated because it was taking forever. I think I've got it to where it'll work. But if you're doing this project or something like this, take a few extra minutes and make sure all your stuff is lined up perfectly before you start tacking it in. It'll save you a bunch of time. The next step is to add these collars to each of the legs. So these will get welded on, and that way I can just drop the legs in. They'll get locked down with the tie downs, and it'll be super easy to set it up. And I'll put these collars on both the bottom and on the top of each leg. That's the legs all done. Got the collars tacked on there. The frame goes together very nicely. I tested it. Now all that's left is to burn in some welds. I got the frames all welded together and I could not get the cart all the way together to save my life. I guess when I was welding, something must have warped, but it was just not gonna happen.
The frame goes together very nicely. I tested it.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grind off a few millimeters off of the thickness of the legs below the collars. That way it gives a little bit more play in the corners. Things should fit together a little bit better. All right, so after several minutes of grinding, we've got the legs slimmed down a little bit. So now it's time to put it all together. And it just drops right in. That is wonderful. That is what I'm going for. So it is still a little loose, but like I said, I think the tie downs that I put on here are gonna lock it in place. It's gonna be nice and sturdy for what I need it to do. And speaking of tie downs, let's talk about them. What even are they? Let me show you. This is a camera cart that I built last year. It's based off of a Magliner camera cart. Let's zoom in and take a closer look. This is the front base of the cart, and here are the uprights slash handle. This slides into this sleeve, and then I tighten this thumb screw, and it's locked in, not coming out. So that's the same principle for the new cart. Only on this cart, we will be using set screws. On each corner, I will drill a hole here, and then each hole will get a nut welded over top of it. And that's how it's gonna work. Before I can weld these nuts, I have to take this zinc plating off of them. There's a couple different ways to do that. You can burn it off, which is not great. That's basically doing the same thing, still releases those gases. You can do it chemically in vinegar. That takes like 3 days. You can also do it in muriatic acid, which takes about 2 to 3 hours is what I read. I also saw a post, somebody said they used navel jelly, which is a rust remover. But somebody said they left it on there for 1 to 2 hours and it worked. Let's try it. Here's our jam nuts marinating in that navel jelly. And it's kind of nice because I could just paint it on the sides and you can see that the inside doesn't have any on there. But this stuff's been on there for about 15 minutes and there's already bubbles forming. So that means something's happening. No zinc plating. This side still has the zinc plating, which is exactly what I wanted. So there you go. Navel jelly works great for taking zinc plating off of hardware. Holes have been drilled. Zinc plating has been removed. Only thing left to do, weld them on. Hi, I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about casters. It's what makes a cart a cart. Up until now, we just have a dumb shelf. These are the casters that I've purchased. They have 4 tie-down points. And normally, if this was a regular cart, I would just run 4 screws through there and call it a day. But I want these casters to be able to slip off for transportation. So what we've got here is a couple pieces of metal clamped to the workbench just to show you how this is going to work. So the base plates will slide into these grooves. There'll be a tie down that you tighten down with your speed wrench, and then the wheels will be nice and tight and you won't be able to take them off and it'll be great. And then when you're done with the cart, you can just loosen that set screw and you'll be able to pull them back off. It's gonna be great. Okay, you know the drill by now. We're gonna tack them and then weld them in. Opie, does that clamp taste good? Yeah, probably not. After a quick wipe down with acetone, this cart's ready for paint.
It's finished. I couldn't be happier with how this turned out. I've taken it on a few jobs now and it works great. I usually load it in the truck the night before and forget to film the process, but I started work on a 10-week movie, so I made sure to film it this particular morning. It fits nicely in the back seat. I figured the bed of the truck would be loaded with gear or tools, and this way the cart could come out first and not take up space in the back. It takes about 3 minutes to set up the cart. On the jobs when I've had the cart, it usually ends up being a slop cart. So at the end of the day, we'll have gear all over a field or a stadium or a building, and we'll just pile as much gear on it as possible. Then we'll take it back to the truck, unload it, and go get more stuff. And then when I get home, I keep the wheels in a milk crate, and the rest of it fits on a shelf in the basement.
Thanks everybody for tuning in to the Funky Wrench channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, or at the very least you learned something. If you want to see what I'm up to next, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. I've got some new videos coming up very soon, and I will see you on the next one.